Hello and welcome to FMC. I am Jeremy. That is SP3. It is Tuesday, June 27th. We're coming to you a little bit later than our usual 8:30. And as I was talking with SP3 off air, we're going to be at 9, like pretty much all summer, because I can actually sleep in a little and I take advantage of sleep when I can get it. So, yeah, 9 o'clock start throughout the summer. SP3, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing well. I feel a little bit more well rested than I did yesterday. I finished a week worth of wrestling content, so I'm very happy to be here to not talk about wrestling after I had to talk about AEW for 4 straight days. That was a lot, and I really enjoy AEW. My second favorite promotion, but that was a lot of AEW for 4 straight days.
Second favorite promotion. Is your favorite promotion MLW?
It's got to be NWA. Progressive champion they got over there.
I didn't want to go with the obvious NWA. What are we doing talking wrestling? All right, that's enough of that. Good job, everybody.
We're in a nice segue. We're segueing from what you usually hear on this channel to now
Yeah,
what we usually talk on this show.
yeah. No, let's talk about the NBA, everyone. So we had the great Chris Paul trade, everyone. We almost did an emergency podcast for that, honestly. We almost did.
Because he got traded twice in 1 week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody
I thought he
wanted.
was going to Lakers. Last week after he got traded to the Wizards and they were going to buy him out or trade him again, I was like, he's going to Lakers 100%. And then he didn't. You thought he was going to the Clippers. I think you were just trying to troll me. There was a little bit of smoke to the Clippers. There was some smoke to the Clippers, but he goes to the Warriors. He goes to the Warriors basically for Jordan Poole. That's the deal. There's other whatever matters to it, but it's Chris Paul for Jordan Poole. What are your thoughts, SP3? I think I know your thoughts, but I actually don't. So what are your thoughts?
I'm so pleasantly pleased. I don't know if that's ever been said on anywhere, but pleasantly pleased by all of this because Chris Paul got traded twice in 1 week. He is like Calvin Cambridge from Like Mike, where he goes to the fake Fresh Prince of Bel Air house, and he doesn't really feel comfortable there, so he goes to another orphanage in the same another guy who Morris Chestnut's character that becomes his daddy. Like, he got traded twice in 1 week. He's an orphan that nobody wanted. Nobody wanted this old ass man, choke P3, injury prone, choke prone. He got traded twice in 1 week. That is just like, oh my god, it just to my soul. It's just food to my soul. Soul food. Oh man. You know that how love goes. It's good for the soul food. Yes, it is soul food for my soul that Chris Paul got traded twice in 1 week. But about the actual trade, the second trade where he went to the Golden State Warriors, I don't know how I really feel about that, because it's like, yes, Jordan Poole was an issue. Yes, there was no water in the pool, especially against the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA playoffs. But you paid him that much money. He was averaging 21 points per game in the regular season off the bench. He was one of the best six mans in the whole entire league. To then go from there to you trade him for a broken down Chris Paul. And I'm sorry, I have to make one more wrestling comparison, that Chris Paul has maybe the equivalent downgrade from Chris Paul of 2011 to Chris Paul of 2023 of Kenta in 2007 to Kenta in 2023. Like, that's like the parallels. So since we're making parallels, the theme of today's show, making parallels between wrestling and this, that is the best comparison that I could put for people. The downgrade in quality, the injuries, the choking. Chris Paul is not improving the Golden State Warriors. Like, it just is what it is. I don't think he is that much of an improvement. I don't think they had that much of a need for a backup point guard that can, run the offense for the second unit as much as they needed scoring for the second unit. And that's what Jordan Poole did. But I understand him and Draymond Green, that is a rift that was never going to be recovered. And Draymond Green, it seems like they're going to offer him a 3-year deal, going to get him read up, put him back on the team, and that's all fine and dandy. And maybe one more offseason of rest and maybe getting recovery. Klay Thompson can be closer to the Klay Thompson in his prime than what he was in the postseason. All of that is all fine and dandy, but I don't see how this initially improves your team on the court. I know off the court, it definitely improves your team because you're taking someone away that didn't get along with one of your key pieces. That is one thing. I don't see how it improves them on the court, though, yet.
Here's how it improves them on the court. They get a smart basketball player. Jordan Poole, as good of a scorer as he is, very inconsistent scorer, would take some bad shots. Steph Curry got thrown out of a game last year because he threw his mouthpiece after a shot Jordan Poole took. Jordan Poole took a bad shot. Steph Curry was so upset at this shot that he chucked his mouthpiece into the stands and they tossed him from the game. Jordan Poole, that Lakers game 1, I believe, where Jordan Poole is like playing well, but then decides to chuck up a bad shot at the end of the game is almost a dagger shot, or I think it might have been a potential, go ahead shot. Like, he takes bad shots. He doesn't play make well. He doesn't get others involved. He plays no defense. He makes bad decisions. That's really what it comes down to. He doesn't make a lot of great decisions. Again, great offensive player, great scoring punch. He helped them win a title because of that. But now with Steph getting older, with Klay, maybe, he's declining. There's no maybe about that. With Draymond getting older, you have an older core. So did they feel comfortable Jordan Poole's the guy to lead us to the next iteration of the Warriors? Clearly, they didn't feel comfortable with that. They did 2 seasons ago when they handed him a $40 million contract for 4 years, $40 million per year, not 10 per. They did when they handed him that contract, but the Draymond punch changed things. Like, let's be honest about that. Like, it does have to do with on court stuff. It also has to do with off court because the relationship was just fractured after that. So they made their choice. They went with Draymond because he's been there. He's won championships. He's part of that core group. They made their choice when he came. And I do think, by the way, that Jordan Poole's play this season was affected by just the fractured relationship between it. And that's Draymond's fault. I don't put that on Jordan Poole at all. That's Draymond's fault. And he has to be better about that. And he didn't, he was like, yeah, sure, whatever, we'll play. But it clearly wasn't working between those two. And there was still a little bit of a rift there. And I feel bad for Jordan Poole because of that. When it comes to Chris Paul, yes, he's much older. He doesn't play much defense either. He still tries hard. I will say that compared to like Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's effort wasn't always there, and he's just not very good. Chris Paul will give you like the effort, but he's washed like defensively, especially defensively. He's old.
He's not even on the decline. He's at the decline. He made it. He made it to the decline. He was on the decline when he got to Phoenix, and he had one more great season in him, and he got them to the NBA Finals. And then ever since then, the next year he was on the decline, and then this year he made it to the decline. He finally made it. He made it to his way to the Grandmaster of decline, and he is there. But I don't see. I know decision making. That's a good point. His IQ is still very high.
Let me continue.
But you're not gonna have him that much. You're not gonna have him that much. He's gonna miss 30. He's gonna miss 35.
Can I talk? SB3. We'll delve into a real. Somebody's got to replace Skip and Shannon, right? It's my turn. It's my turn.
We need to start doing. I said that we need to start betting 7-ups. That popped me so much. It popped Jeremy so much he looked like he froze for a second
there. What can you do?
there.
Am I here?
You're
Am I good? Okay.
You're pixelated, but I can
Um,
hear you.
Whatever. As long as people get the audio of it, it's all right. Defensively, he is what he is defensively. I will say this about him defensively. Knows the tricks, right? People are gonna call him a dirty player. Yeah. Knows the tricks though. Knows when he can get away with the holds. Knows when he can like get under people and undercut. When someone's trying to go around them. Knows the little reach around move that Russell Westbrook likes to use. Like, just it is smart defensively. Isn't that great anymore, but just knows the little tricks you can get away with as a veteran NBA player, where Jordan Poole he doesn't have any of those tools. And again, the effort might be lacking too. Offensively, they just need him to be whatever version of Chris Paul that they're going to get out of him. The scoring punch, yeah, he's not Jordan Poole. He's not going to light it up and drop 30 on you randomly on a Thursday night. That's just it doesn't happen with Chris Paul. That didn't happen when he was in his prime. It certainly isn't going to happen now. But the Warriors offense is just predicated on movement and good decision making. Chris Paul is not going to move a whole lot. He'll set a screen, he'll handle the ball, and he makes great decisions. And that's what they need. He's going to run a pick and roll with Draymond, where Draymond will set the pick, hit Draymond over the top. Draymond will make a decision. Chris Paul's still a good shooter too. Like, there's still some gravity as a 3-point catch and shoot guy with him, but they're going to run a lot of the pick and roll action with Draymond and Chris Paul. That'll give teams trouble because Draymond is a very good decision maker as well. Chris Paul doesn't get to the rim very well or very much either at this age. Mid-range, still got that. He's just got to be Sean Livingston. They just need him to be Sean Livingston when Sean Livingston was winning titles. I don't think that man ever missed a mid-range shot, Sean Livingston, for the Golden State Warriors. Legitimately. Never, ever saw him miss a mid-range shot. I think Klay Thompson's going to benefit a lot from this. I really think Klay is going to benefit because he's going to get easier shots now, and he's going to get a guy who is going to set him up for easier shots. I think Chris Paul's willing to set screens and do all of that Jordan Poole wasn't willing to do. It's not so much about the bench play. Oh, we need a score off the bench. It's not so much about that. It's we just need the offense to stabilize when Steph Curry sits. That means Draymond can stay in the game. It means Klay Thompson can still stay in the game. We just need the offense to stabilize when Steph Curry sits. Chris Paul is a very stable player. There's nothing wrong with Chris Paul.
His health ain't stable.
Well, yeah, the health. I agree with that. That's a risk. That is completely, by the way, a risk. They clearly trust their medical staff. They got like 60 games out of Otto Porter when I don't think that man's played 60 games since the high school days. Like, he just don't play that many games at this stage of his career. Oh yeah, the health is certainly a risk. I can't argue against that. That's just factual that Chris Paul could not stay healthy. But when he is healthy, he's a very stable. You know what you're getting out of Chris Paul. He's going to run the offense. He's going to get good shots for everybody else. He's going to get to his spots. He's not going to make bad decisions. He's not going to turn the ball over and just play out of control or anything. I think it's a great trade for the Warriors because their timeline as well. They tried to do this. Oh, we got Steph and Klay and Draymond still, and we're going after more titles. But we also got Kuminga and Moody and Wiseman and Poole. And it was two separate timelines. And they still got a title out of this, by the way.
Yeah.
Like Steph Curry was so good that they still got a title out of this. But you got the young guys complaining about playing time. They're not developing. They're not in proper roles. That's why they had to trade Wiseman. They traded Poole. Wouldn't be shocked if Kuminga and Moody are gone this time next month.
Wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah. So the timelines just weren't up, and they made their decision. They went with, let's do whatever we can, extend this window with Steph, Klay, and Draymond as much as we can right now. And that's where they went. They could have gone the other way. They could have said, See you, Clay. Thanks for the rings. See you later. See you, Draymond. Thanks for the ring. See you later. You probably want to keep Steph Curry. You don't want to be the team that trades Steph Curry if he doesn't want out. They said, see you later. They could have said that, but they stayed with the core. I think Chris Paul is a perfect fit for what the Warriors want to do. I don't think they're done either. I think they're going to get a little bit more. They're probably still going to get older, but they're going to get older because they're trying to win this season. And if they get one title out of this, if they get one more title out of this, it's a success. It's a success.
They're not. This trade does not improve their chances of winning the championship. It doesn't improve them in the regular season either. I think they're a 6 seed. They're a 6 seed at best with this roster. This roster doesn't improve them at all. If you're gonna trade a guy you just gave a $40 million a year contract to, you need to get better. They didn't get better. Everything you're saying means that they're either gonna stay the same or they're gonna decline. Like, it's nothing you're saying is like, oh, they got better by getting Chris Paul in 2023. No, they got a broken down point guard that probably won't be there for half of the games. His hamstring is going to leave him. His hamstring is going to leave the league before he does.
They're not going to be putting that much stress on Chris Paul. They'll sit him. They'll do the load management stuff. He doesn't need to handle the ball he doesn't need to play. How many minutes did Chris Paul play last season? I'm going to look this up.
Might have been like 30.
Yeah, he had to be in like the 30 minute range. Chris Paul last season played 32 minutes. They don't need him for 32 minutes.
No,
they need him. They need him for like 24 minutes a game. That's it. They're not going to put as much on him.
This is the thing. Like, with Chris Paul, I think if he would have went to any other team, yes, it would have improved them. I think even if he went to the Los Angeles Lakers, like you were saying last week, that would have improved the Lakers because that would have took some of the ball handling from LeBron James, which is needed at his age. But like, I've seen the Warriors be good with, like you said, Sean Livingston coming off the bench for Steph Curry, Gary Payton III coming off the bench for Steph Curry. Like, I've seen them with lesser point guards and not a guy that is so ball dominant and not a guy that I can't really see playing with Steph Curry all that often. Yes, Steph can play without the ball. And he can let Chris Paul run the show, but I don't see it happening that all too often because of two things: health and just the floor spacing. I don't know how that would work.
What do you mean floor spacing? How's the floor not spaced? Steph Curry spaces the floor just every time he's out there. Health is the concern. I'll give you health. I have no argument for health other than the Warriors clearly believe their medical staff, and I assume they have some type of plan to keep him as healthy as possible. That doesn't mean the plan work. No, it might not. It certainly might not. But as a fit, as a basketball player, this deal makes so much sense to me. Floor spacing. Steph's going to run around. He's going to get all of his shots. Chris Paul can still shoot. Like, let's not act like Chris Paul just can no longer shoot the basketball. Chris Paul last year,
he could shoot mid-range.
He can shoot from 3.
He shot
37% from 3. He's a 36 career 3-point shooter. He's going to get catch and shoot all day.
How many attempts did he have?
Can still shoot. What?
How many attempts per game did he have?
4.4. You're telling me Chris Paul can't shoot? People just want to throw dirt on this man because he can't stay healthy. Fine. Let's not act like Chris Paul when he's on the floor is just a completely washed player. He doesn't make this team significantly better than I think they would have been if they kept Jordan Poole. I don't think he makes them significantly better. And taking this from someone that has seen many of Los Angeles Lakers teams that are built on an older core, it never works out.
It never works out. It never works out. This is a youth league. You need some youth. You need one of your key players to be a young player, and we don't know if the young players on the Golden State Warriors are going to get time. We don't even know if the young players on the Golden State Warriors are going to be there next year. So yeah, I think that this is a if what you said before is true, if this is the first trade of multiple trades to reform this team, then yeah, maybe this improves their team. But as it stands right now, no, it doesn't. They stayed the same. I see them at best a 6 seed in the regular season and a second round out in the playoffs.
They improved their team because Chris Paul is a better fit for what this team wants to do. They improved their team because they no longer have the Draymond and Jordan Poole cloud hanging over them. They improved their locker room chemistry. I believe Chris Paul, I mean, he had the laugh at Steve Kerr, and a lot of people made fun of that. He's friends with Steph Curry. I'm pretty sure he's friends with Draymond Green. All these older players are typically friends with each other. So the locker room is improved for this. That is helpful. They improved their team. They got better. I do agree with you. I do agree with you that it is a young person's league nowadays. That's 100% true. And they probably should have some type of young player there. I think they like Moody more than Kuminga. Maybe Moody can fit into this team and get some minutes and kind of be like a Christian Brown type player for the Nuggets. I know Moody's been in the league a couple of years and it was Brown's first season. Like, I do think that is a good point of that. Yeah, you need some young players. The Warriors, they're just clearly not going in that direction. They had young players. They could have traded for maybe better young players who fit. They certainly could have done that, but this was the direction they decided to go. I'm talking just on court perspective. I think they're a better team. Malik, yes, I can see your comments. I don't know anything about Randy's return. We are not a wrestling show.
We don't know about Randy Anderson. Anderson. I don't know. I don't know when he's gonna return to
Randy
the NBA.
Foy.
Randall Foy. What? Oh man, come on, give it to me. I want to see Randall Foy be back in the league. We don't know when they're gonna be back in the NBA. We're here to discuss the NBA news, sir. But yes, we shall see. We shall see. If this, like I said, if this is the first trade of many to reform this Golden State Warriors, then I will revisit this conversation in the next 2-3 weeks or so.
You're not going to like any of the trades or deals they make because they're just going to keep getting older guys. They're not going to get anybody young.
Yeah, and this is why. This is why I'm saying, like, I don't see this working out. They just going to get older and older and older, and this is a youth league. I wouldn't be as high on the Los Angeles Lakers for next season if it was just LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Reason why I believe the Los Angeles Lakers have one of the best big threes in the league for next season is because they got him. They got him, and they're gonna sign. He's gonna sign him. He's gonna be $100 million man. On $100 million man. Yo, if I would have told all of y'all that Austin Reeves would be $100 million man at the beginning of last season, y'all would have laughed at me. Y'all would have looked at me like I was goofy, like I was a goofy movie, like you were Max. No. That's a real ring. That's the realest. Hey, I go by what the NBA players say. The NBA players say that's the realest ring in the game.
NBA players lie.
No, they don't lie. I've never heard an NBA player lie, especially LeBron James. I've never heard
the biggest liar on your team.
I never heard LeBron James lie in his life. What are you talking about? But Austin Tyler Reeves, he about to be $100 million man. He got to be $100 million man Oh, we're going to have a celebration. I'm going to do a sermon when we officially sign him. I promise, folks. You've been asking for it. You've been wanting it. You want a sermon? I'm going to give you a sermon when the Los Angeles Lakers re-sign Austin Reeves, make him the $100 million man. $100 million man. I'm ready for it. Austin Tyler Reeves. Top three. No, I'll give it top five. Top five big three in the league. Los Angeles Lakers with the $100
Wow,
million
you went
man.
5. You cowardly backed out of 3 and
No. You know why? Because that's gonna take us to our next subject. I think it's about to go down before the end of July. Damian Lillard will be a member of the Miami Heat.
He will be a
member of the Miami Heat, and Miami Heat will immediately be thrusted into the number 2 spot of the best big threes in this league. They're going to bypass
number 1? Jokic? Who's
Jokic,
number 1?
Aaron Gordon, and Jamal Murray.
That speaks to the level of Jokic and really Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray's really good. And Aaron Gordon.
I know.
Aaron Gordon was the best pickup. He was the best.
Aaron Gordon's nice.
Look
I
at
like
me.
Aaron Gordon.
Look at me, folks. Look at me. This guy that denied Jokic for 2 years. I am speaking very highly of them.
I like Aaron Gordon, by the way. I like the Nuggets. I like all these guys. No one considers Aaron Gordon like, oh yeah, this is a big three out there.
Yes, the big
no
three.
One considers Aaron Gordon.
Best trios in the league. It just the way the fit is. It's all about the fit. It's not.
I know this is what.
It's not about just having 3 players out there, and that's why the Phoenix Suns are in the top 5, but they're number 5 because they just have 5. They just have 3 really good players together.
I agree with this, but this is why I don't like the big 3 talk, is because it's all based on just like name value stuff, because everybody's going to say that the best big 3 is Durant, Booker, Beal, because individually those are the best. If Bradley Beal is your 3rd best player individually, you probably have the best big 3. But you're right that it is like the best fit on these. I like trios better. I like best trios because that does specify more of a fit between the players, and it doesn't have to be equal. It doesn't. Like it does not have to be. Look at all right, I'm gonna use wrestling analogy. Look at the Elite. Kenny Omega, he's a better wrestler than the Young Bucks. Just factual. He's just a better wrestler than the Young Bucks. But the fit in all 3 and how they work together is better than if I put John Cena, CM Punk, and Randy Orton as a big 3. The Rock's not bad yet. Like if I put them as a big 3, like how does that team actually work together? That's a clunky looking team right there.
Exactly.
In the ring. We're talking in the ring. That's a clunky looking team in the ring.
Could you have 3 alphas? That's the best comparison you've made to the Phoenix Suns. They have 3 alphas, 3 guys that need the ball a lot. And the best comparison that I've seen to the Phoenix Suns big 3 right now is the Nets old big 3 of James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving. That did not work because all 3 guys need the ball. When you have 3 ball dominant guys, that's not a good fit.
It worked until Kyrie wouldn't take the one shot he needed to take.
And
then James Harden got mad.
We are not going to disrespect my family member. He's going
on the court. That team was good.
Hey, he's going through a very tumultuous summer. He's either gonna stay in Dallas or he's gonna find a new home. We shall see. But Dame Lillard on the Miami Heat,
this guy.
That fits. That's a big 3 and a great trio because they fit so well. You got Dame Lillard, who's one of the best shooters in the league. You got Jimmy Butler, who's a slasher and a mid-range shooter, and then you got Bam Adebayo, who plays from the free throw line down. Like that is just, and then you have Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, who are tremendous defensive players. They basically hide the weakness of Damian Lillard. If Damian Lillard is going to go to any team and they are immediately a title contender, it's the Miami Heat. And he had a meeting yesterday with the Portland Trail Blazers of people I think that that's the key. I've been hearing all the people that are hopeful he stays in Portland saying, "Oh, all you got to do is re-sign Jeremy Grant and get Draymond Green." That does nothing. They will still
No,
not
that
make
team
the playoffs.
sucks.
They still not
That
make the
team
playoffs.
sucks.
That sucks. You need Dame Lillard to finally decide he wants to be a winner. He wants to be on a winning team. And I've been saying for years that Dame Lillard would work better on the Eastern Conference in general. It doesn't matter where. I think the top two candidates to most people, to most analysts, to most fans is the Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia 76ers, if it's just Dame and Joel Embiid, I don't know how much better you can get than what they did with him and with Joel Embiid and James Harden. Maybe with Nick Nurse, that is the added benefit that will make them a better team than what we had last year with Embiid and Harden. But you put Dame Lillard with Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Coach Spo in the Eastern Conference, they're immediately the favorite to win the East, even more than the Boston Celtics getting Porzingis. If you get Dame Lillard on the Miami Heat after the year they had when they've never kind of just Boston's never been able to just wash over them. They either beat them in a 7-game series or Miami has washed them. Miami has beat them soundly. And so I think that the Miami Heat would instantly be the favorite in the East if they get Dame Lillard.
I don't disagree with any of that. I don't care about Damian Lillard. I'm tired of this guy. I'm tired of his, oh, yeah, I want to be here. I want to be committed to, I love Miami. Oh, it'd be cool to play there. Oh, I don't want to play with a team that has a bunch of stars and stuff. I love Port. I'm not. Make a decision, dude. Make a decision. Either say you want to stay in Portland and realize what the hell they're doing, which is going younger, which is rebuilding, which is not going after guys like Draymond Green, or maybe they will resign Jeremy Grant. I like Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant's a good basketball player. But Jeremy Grant and Draymond Green ain't helping you win a championship. That's a fine team. You got some good young players around that team. I like Shaedon Sharpe. I love Scoot Henderson. I think Scoot Henderson's going to be really good. So I like that. But if you have Lillard, this is an issue that the Warriors ran into of two different timelines. You got a guy who wants to win, who's committed to winning, things like that. That stunts the growth. I assume I'm cut off. Am I here? Am I good?
You're pixelated a little bit, but you sound better.
No idea.
It's okay. You're frozen a bit. Now you're just pixelated, but you're clearing out. Okay. There you go.
All right.
They don't want to let you cook today.
I know.
They don't want to let you cook today.
You have two different timelines when it comes to this stuff. And this is what the Warriors ran into. You either got to go with the young guys and commit to this rebuild, or you got to try to actually go for it and win and everything. Look what OKC did. Look what they did with their timelines. Paul George wanted out. They traded him. They could have kept Russell Westbrook and been like, oh, yeah, we'll still try to win with Russ and the young guys. Instead, no. We realized that Russ probably ain't the best guy to have on this team because he wants to win championships. And he probably isn't the best guy to help our development of a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So we need to trade him and get a guy who better fits the development. So they got Chris Paul, who better fit things. And we got a great season out of that. And then it was like, all right, well, we could still kind of travel down this road of being a 6 seed or whatever. No, we got to commit to just losing. And that's okay. That's okay. The Blazers are committed to winning and they still lose. So maybe you should just commit to losing, and then at least you're honest with your fans of like, yeah, we're trying to lose. It's all right, guys, but we'll get better. We'll grow.
But you got to trade. In that case, you have to trade Damian Lillard.
You do,
and I think that people have it confused because I see someone in the chat saying Portland has to trade Dame first. It's not been about Portland's need to want to keep Dame Lillard. It's about Dame Lillard's stubbornness. It's about Damian Lillard's stubbornness.
They need to stop being cowards too, because they don't want to be the team They don't want to be the ownership group, the front office that is like, oh yeah, we traded Damian Lillard, who didn't want to get traded. Dame might be like, I wanted to stay in Portland. I love Portland. I didn't want to leave Portland. They traded me. No, Dame, by doing this wishy-washy nonsense, you're basically saying you want to get traded. He's being a coward because he won't just ask, hey, please trade me. They're being cowards because they just won't be like, you know what? We just got to commit to this. I hope everyone understands we can't build the team that Damian Lillard wants us to build. It's not happening. Yeah. So we need to trade him and do what's best for him. You got two cowards looking each other in the eyes, and neither of them is willing to blink because they're afraid of some reputation taking a hit. Meanwhile, all the fans are like, I think the fans understand this of, yeah, cool, trade him to a team that can help him win. We want to see Dame succeed, even if it's outside of Portland. He gave us the best years of his career. We couldn't win. It's okay. It's okay if we just move on and go from that. And I think they would understand that, whether the front office is like, hey, this is the move we need to make, or whether Dame is like, hey, this is the move I need to make. I think the fans would be like, you know what? We get it. We understand it. But for some reason, these two, the front office and Dame, are just both being cowards about this. I'm tired of reading about it. Chris Haynes, who has Dame on speed dial and who gets the update every single time, he posted this statement from ownership. We had a great productive meeting with Dame and his agent, and we continue to be committed to building a roster to win around Damian Lillard. All right, when are you going to start doing that? You ain't started being committed to building a winning roster around him. So I'm tired of it. I hope he gets traded. I hope he gets traded just so it ends. Because they've been doing this dance for years. And he's honestly wasted years of his career by staying in Portland and not winning anything. As they get younger and you stunt the growth of these guys. And it's not purposeful, mind you. It's not like Dame is just there of like, oh, I'm going to sabotage this young rebuilding core here. No, he wants to play. He wants to win. I understand that. But he's got to realize that the team that they're building, the direction that they're going, his style, his mentality is not conducive to helping that kind of growth. It's just not. And the front office has to realize that as well. So make the trade, get whatever you can. Please just end this. Please go, somebody, Miami, go out there and trade for the most overrated player in the league. Please just end it. I don't care.
I don't know if you saw the Woj tweet from about 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. It said, breaking, the Portland Trailblazers are finalizing a deal to trade away 7-time All-Star Damian Lillard in a blockbuster trade with the Miami Heat, sources tell ESPN. Lillard demanded a move to the South Beach and Pat Riley.
Where's this?
No, I'm kidding. It doesn't
say. Don't do fake Woj bombs on our show, SP3.
Fake Woj bomb. No, but it needs to be done. I agree with you. They, one or the other. Dame has to either say it, or the Portland Trailblazers have to basically just commit to all of this and say that they are rebuilding. When you didn't trade away the number 3 pick of Scoot Henderson, that was confirmation, if any, to me that Dame Lillard is not for this team anymore. They're going in a different direction. They have the heir apparent to his spot already in Scoot Henderson. They need to just move on. And I think that Miami has a great package centered around Tyler Hero and the Nikola Jokic, not Jokic, or Djokovic. That is his name. Djokovic. And he's going to be a great player because people that have similar names to him are the best player in the world. So he's going to be a good player. They have the draft picks. Miami can put together the best package for Damian Lillard. And Damian Lillard, like I said, with Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, instantly are the favorite in the East.
I do think they are the favorites in the East if they get Damian Lillard. I'm not so worried. I don't want to discuss a hypothetical trade. I'm not talking about it. I'm not. Just if he gets traded finally, and otherwise we're just going to keep doing this until he does get traded. We've been doing this forever. It's the John Collins. John Collins actually got traded. I feel like this man's been on the trade block for 5 seasons. He actually got traded.
It's been like 2-3 seasons. It's been like 2-3 seasons, and I think him on the Jazz, it's interesting. I don't know how well that would work, and I don't really like what the Hawks got in exchange for him. I mean, all it does really is give them kind of the flexibility to do some things with their salary cap in the off season as far as free agents, where they can get a couple of more key pieces to put together there. Because I agree with Louis. They traded him for nothing. Got a 2nd round pick in Rudy Gay.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's what they got out of Rudy Gay.
For John Collins.
John Collins.
They're basically, he has been their 2nd best player for the past 40 seasons.
Yeah, John Collins is great. I love John Collins, by the way. Like, I think I would like him on the Thunder. I would like him on my team. I don't know if I love him on Utah just because of their roster construction. You got Walker Kessler, who's good. You've got Lauri Markkanen, who's good as well. They have Darius Garland. They have Garland. I'm gonna apologize for the Cavaliers trade. No, Garland's still with the Cavs. They got Colin Sexton. They got Colin Sexton is who they got out of that deal. Apologies. Forgot which former Cav got traded. They had Colin Sexton. They had a nice little team. They were competitive for the majority of last season. They're a little big, and that's where John Collins makes them a little bit bigger. So that's why I don't know how the fit fully works. I imagine Utah's not quite done retooling their roster. But I like this deal for Utah. Get John Collins, who's still got some upside to him, who just hasn't been used well in Atlanta, and see what you can build out of this. Yeah, Atlanta, and you trade a 25-year-old John Collins who's still good and who has value in certain areas for Rudy Gay, who is what he is. I'm sure if he's going to get minutes or anything, and then a fake 2nd round pick. That's what you got. Rudy Gay's 36 years old.
It is a fake 2nd round pick. Like it doesn't have protection on it too.
My God. You got like nothing for John Collins. Like, you couldn't get anything for this guy.
That's the best deal you could get.
It feels like a bad move. Honestly. But that's the move that they decided to make. So sure, that's the move that they made. I don't know what Atlanta's doing. It doesn't feel like Atlanta's done, but I don't know what direction that they're going in. There's rumors that they're trying to trade Dejounte Murray, who I think they just got him last year, and I think he's another great basketball player.
And I've heard weird Trey Young rumors as well. So
yeah, and
we shall see.
What? Like, I'm not mad at if they want to go in a completely different direction. I kind of get that. But they got to figure out who they're going to be building around. And that's since DeAndre Hunter is another guy who is kind of rumored. I mean, basically everybody on Atlanta is rumored to be traded at this point, which is hilarious because they've got oh my God, I just blanked on his name. The former Jazz coach as their coach.
Snyder.
Yeah, Quinn Snyder. Snyder. Completely blank. I could picture his face. I could not get his name at all. Yeah, they got Quinn Snyder there.
When you say Jazz coaches, it really is 2 people that I think of. I think of Quinn Snyder and I think of Jerry Sloan, because I feel like throughout my lifetime, that's the only 2 coaches they ever had.
I mean, that's basically it. Honestly, it is Quinn Snyder and Jerry Sloan. That's it.
I mean, to be fair, that's at least better than the Spurs. I think my whole lifetime, Popovich has been the coach.
It's just Popovich.
It's just Popovich.
We'll see what happens with the rest of the Hawks, but it seems like they're not done after this John Collins deal. We'll see. We do have one other trade to get to, which was a kind of a big shocker. But first, I do want to make sure I get the super chat from Pluggo. I'm really bad about reading super chats on the show, and I'm very bad overall about asking. I'm not bad about reading them. If they come in, I read them. Very bad about asking for super chats. If you would like to donate and send super chats, please do. It helps pay the contributors on this website. And
I get nothing from the SP3 baby diapers fund.
It does. SP3 is gonna look at that whenever I get paid this month. Oh shit, I gotta send in my invoice pretty soon. Sean's over in London. Whenever I get paid this month, SP3 is gonna look at that and be like, oh damn, I got this much overbooked. SP3 is gonna be whole family's going to McDonald's.
Happy meals for everyone.
Yeah.
I can take my daughter to Across the Spider-Verse, and she'll probably only last like 15 minutes in there in the theater.
Our pal Pluggo. Shout out to JPJ and Pluggo. They ran some. They asked Alex Kane about Shane Hawk's comments, and we ran that. So they got beef now. A Rocket grade. I'm in and Whitmore are nice. I'm not a big draft guy, Pluggo. SP3 isn't either. Our pal Louis, who was on our draft show last week, he's in the chat. He might have a little bit better of an insight than us. I assume this stupid thing is frozen again because I can't get this. There we go.
You were choppy reading that, so just in case the people didn't hear it, it was Rockets draft grade. Amon and Whitmore are nice. I think the Rockets are one of the big winners of the draft. They're not the biggest winner. I think the biggest winner unanimously has been the Spurs for making the most obvious choice of ever. They won the draft when they won the lottery. That's basically what happened when you get Wembanyama and you really turn this team that was has been in kind of tumultuous, really. I mean, they've made the playoffs a few times, but ever since Kawhi Leonard left this team, the trajectory hasn't looked good for the Spurs. So winning the lottery and getting Wembanyama, they're always going to be the biggest winner of the whole trade. As far as draft grades, I would give the Rockets a B+. I would give the Rockets a B+. Getting them on one of the Thompson twins, that was going to be always good for them. And the fact you had twins back-to-back picks. The mom is winning. The mom is the biggest winner of the whole entire draft. Their mama that gave birth to two twins that went back-to-back in the NBA draft. That is wild. That is wild. I've never seen that before.
Well, this is because you don't watch the greatest sport in the history of the world, hockey, because in
top hockey, 5 though.
1 second, SP3. I'm going to make sure I got my facts correct here. 1999 NHL draft, number 1 pick overall, Patrick Stefan to the Atlanta Thrashers. Number 2 overall pick, Daniel Sedin to the Vancouver Canucks. Number 3 overall pick, twin brother Henrik Sedin to the Vancouver Canucks. Not only did they go top 3, they went to the same team and they had Hall of Fame career together, playing for the same team their entire career. So yes, not top 5 SP3, top 3 twin brothers picked by the same team in the NHL.
That's like basically saying comparing NBA draft to the NHL draft is like comparing freaking 2 twins that were 1 and 2 in valedictorian in college to 2 twins who were valedictorian in junior high school 1-2. That's basically what you're telling me.
Why are you being a complete hater on this?
NHL is the obvious. NHL is the obvious 4th sport. They're 4th. They're the 4th biggest sport at best.
Yeah, I agree.
At best, and I think I'm being generous. I think I'm being very generous at saying 4th. I think I'm being very generous to everybody here.
I'm not one of those people who likes to get on Twitter, and when I see people of like, oh, why the NBA? Why is everybody talking about the NBA? NHL, this is so much better. Please, I'm not a please like my sport person. I'm not a please like my sport person at all. I did make the great NHL is the greatest because I do like the NHL. It's the sport I've liked the longest and everything. But I'm not a please like my sport person. I'm just giving you the facts. SP3, you were praising
I appreciate
the Thompson twins' mother for saying, oh, she's winning top 5 picks with twins, top 3 picks. It's already happened in the NHL. It's already happened. More people should be hockey fans. By the way.
Congratulations. You know who mother is better than that? Jesse and Terry Hall's mother, because they both made it to the Mighty Ducks and they won they led District 5 to the championship in the first one, and then Jesse, not Terry didn't make it because Terry was too busy acting like he got attacked on the street. Jesse made it to the Junior Goodwill games.
I like what the Rockets did. They got Whitmore done. They got Whitmore. They traded Whitmore fell to them at number 20, and he was projected to be like a top 5, certainly a lottery pick. But I guess the medicals weren't very good. Maybe off court. I'm not 100%. I know the medicals was a thing. I saw some people talk about off court stuff. But look, if you're drafting at number 20 and you got a guy who people thought were top 5 and you're the Rockets, you take a swing. It's very much Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. was supposed to be a top 10 pick, and then the medicals weren't good. And so he just fell. And then the Nuggets were like, you know what? Why not? Like, why not just take a swing? And the Nuggets were not in, they weren't in a worse position than the Rockets. The Rockets got nothing right now. They are just a very young team looking to grow and build. Now with the Rockets,
they got $64 million to spend in this offseason, so they can at least become a play-in team if they make the right amount of deals. I don't think they should get one of the bigger guys, but if they fill out their roster well, build it around Jalen Green and Oman, I think that they can become a play-in contender.
Maybe, but here's the thing with the Rockets. Biggest thing is like they have all this young talent, and people were high on them coming into last season with all the young talent they had. Young talent. Like they still got to learn how to play the right way in the NBA. They got to all learn how to play together. That's a big thing when it comes to a lot of these young talent. Because like the Rockets, they just like. They didn't look like they were a team that had much direction last year. Like coaching was an issue. I'm pretty sure they got a new coach. So that'll help them out. Like they got to learn how to play together. And now when you got all these young guys, you got to worry about giving playing time and seeing how all these guys fit together as well. They got a lot of top 5 picks over the past few years. Most of the times top 5 picks, they want to play in top 5 positions. And what I mean by that is they want the ball. They want to be featured, and you can't feature everybody. You just can't. So like you got to find roles for these guys, and you got to, get them playing together as a team. You talk about this 60 million cap space. One, I don't think this free agency class is all that good. There's the reports, which I think they've died down a little bit, but there's the reports of them going after James Harden. James Harden's not the guy you want for a young team, because James Harden's he's going to still take all the shots. And like you want guys like Jalen Green, like you want him to be the primary scorer on the team. You want him to run the offense. Kevin Porter Jr., you want these guys to be the focal points offensively. You got James Harden, he's not going to do that. You get veteran guys in there, like I think that's helpful. I think if you get the veteran guys in there, then that can be helpful. And by veterans, I mean like veterans who just like don't need a big role. Brook Lopez is a guy I really want in OKC. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think OKC is going to do much of anything. Brook Lopez, low maintenance guy, going to rim protect, going to shoot his threes, maybe give him a post up or 2 every game. But he doesn't need a ball dominant. Just a guy, just a helpful basketball player who understands his role. That's the kind of guy you want on the Rockets. I like the Rockets young core.
Where do you think James Harden goes if it's not
I think he stays in Philly.
I think the talk is still that they seem like the favorites, the Houston Rockets.
Yeah. No. I think Philly is now the favorites again. I think he stays in Philly. I'd honestly be very surprised if he doesn't stay in Philly. Very surprised. That's where I'm at on him. Louis in Super Chat, SP3 Baby Diaper Fund. Thank you, Louis. Thank you. Trey Jones sends a super chat. We need to get Brandon Miller out of here for the Paul George is the GOAT comment. That was some of these players, man. That is a big red flag of saying Paul George. Really?
You don't know basketball. Like, I'm sorry. Like you can say Paul George is your favorite. Do not say someone who's never won a championship, never even played at that high of a level in the playoffs is the GOAT. Like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Say that's your favorite player. Why does it have to? People need to understand in general, and this is a general comment. If for the people that were in the chat wanting us to talk a little bit of wrestling, here's a little bit of wrestling talk because it's a general comment. People need to realize the difference between your favorite and the greatest or the best. There is a difference. There is a difference. Whether people want to admit that or not, there is a difference between what is your favorite and what is the best. Luckily for me, in most things, who I think is the best and who I think is my favorite are usually the same thing. But I have grown as a person, especially doing this show.
Because you're a
No, it's
bandwagoner.
no, it's not. No, I've never been a bandwagon. What are you talking about? I discovered Kobe B. Bryant when he was in high school. I was at Lord Marion. I saw him in the McDonald's All American. That's when I became a fan. I didn't become a fan when he became good. I was shooting in the gym when he was airballing against Utah in the 1998 playoffs. Don't get me started. But at one point, he was both my favorite and he was both the best. But as if you're talking about greatest of all time player, I understand that Kobe is my favorite. He's not the GOAT. The GOAT is still Michael Jordan. The GOAT is still Michael Jordan. And this is a general conversation for NBA fans. People need to realize that LeBron James is your favorite. You can make a very good argument for him as the GOAT, but he's not the GOAT. I think that argument's been done. He's not the GOAT.
I agree. I mean, sure.
And people need to realize it's an honor for him to have the strongest argument against Michael Jordan. To be the number two, to be the best argument against Michael Jordan, that's an honor in itself. It is not a bad thing to be number two in the greatest of all time. Like, it baffles me, some LeBron fans that get like so offended if you say LeBron's the second best player of all time.
LeBron's got the strongest argument. You're right about that. I can understand people who pick LeBron as the GOAT because there is certainly, as a basketball player, his skill set is, I don't know if it's better than Jordan's, but it's more well-rounded than Jordan's.
Yes.
But like, you got to classify like what GOAT means. Like, does it mean the most skillful player? Does it mean the biggest accomplishments? That's where LeBron certainly takes a hit compared to Jordan, because Jordan and the 6 rings and everything. I don't want to get into the GOAT argument. What are we doing here? Are we that show now? We're just debating the GOATs.
Dude, we're taking over for Undisputed. We're taking over for Undisputed.
I blame Brandon Miller.
I'm going to start saying LeBron James is the GOAT. I'm about to get a GOAT mask. I'm about to get a cigar. I'm about to get some black backwoods from the corner store. I'm up in here. I'll take over for Shannon until Shannon signed that deal with FanDuel. He going to FanDuel, y'all. Just spoiler alert. He going to FanDuel. It's not a coincidence that Pat McAfee left FanDuel and went to ESPN, and then a month later, Shannon Sharpe leaves Undisputed. I'm just saying, they got a bunch of money to give to Club Shay Shay. Shannon Sharpe's going to FanDuel. Spoiler alert.
I blame Brandon Miller. Get this guy out of here. That was a bad pick by the Hornets. Michael Jordan, maybe the GOAT on the basketball court. Terrible ownership.
He's the Walt. He's the Walt when it comes to ownership. Oh, man. Never seen a bigger downfall from when this man has left the court. Anytime he has left the basketball court, he has not done well. Baseball, ownership, like, Jesus Christ. This man drafted Kwame Brown with the #1 overall pick. Let's not forget that. Like, people want to talk about the Hornets only when they talk about Michael Jordan in an ownership position or a decision-making position. It's been over that he is one of the worst of all time when he drafted Kwame Brown with the #1 overall pick.
Yeah. He hasn't done well outside of basketball. I mean, just Ryan says Muggsy Bogues is the GOAT. We're not going to
Yo,
disrespect great Muggsy
height for
Bogues.
height though. Height for height though. Height for height though.
Pound
Come
for
on,
pound, it's a wrap.
pound
Muggsy
for
was the
pound.
man.
Height for height. Come on, Muggsy Bogues. Man, Muggsy Bogues and Spud Webb. We. That's what the type of show we should be. We should be doing a debate of the best 6 feet and under players of all time. The GOAT of the 6 feet and under.
We did have another trade that happened. Kristaps Porzingis to Boston, and this one was a little awkward because it was Porzingis to Boston. It was originally supposed to be Malcolm Brogdon to the Clippers, but then the Clippers, who have a history of taking on medical issue people, were like, we don't like the medicals on this guy. So they pulled out of this deal. And then it became Marcus Smart to Memphis, which was a big shocker because Marcus Smart seemed to be just one of those Boston guys that wasn't going anywhere, but he ends up going to Memphis, and Boston gets Kristaps Porzingis. I like the deal for Boston. I like the addition of Porzingis. I think he's become underrated now, being on the Wizards, but he had a good season for the Wizards. Giving up Marcus Smart, I understand why they did that. I know it upset a lot of Boston fans. It was hilarious watching this play out because Boston fans were like, hey, this deal sucks. We don't want to lose Marcus Smart. And every other fan base were like, this is a great trade for Boston.
Exactly.
Like Marcus Smart, you got to give him up if you get Porzingis. But there's a big emotional attachment to Marcus Smart in Boston. And I get that. And when like your guy, when like a heart and soul kind of guy gets traded like that, I understand like, oh man, that's unfortunate. I like the deal overall for Boston. I assume they're not done because they do need someone who can handle the ball still, because Smart was their primary playmaker. And now you're either asking Jason Tatum to become more of the playmaker, which he did for a good portion of last season. You need Jaylen Brown to improve in that area. I don't know if Peyton Pritchard is the answer there. He played well when he did play, but is he ready for that leap to like run the team? Brogdon, can he stay? The fact that the Clippers are like, yeah, we don't trust this guy to stay on the court. I don't know if Boston's going to be able to trust this guy. So I don't think they're done. I thought Chris Paul would be an option for Boston. Obviously that's not happening now. I think Boston still needs another playmaker. We'll see if they go out and get anybody via trade, or I don't think they have much cap room. I mean, I like the addition of Porzingis though.
If Damian Lillard is available, I don't see how you don't offer Jaylen Brown for that, because Jaylen Brown's got one more year left, and then you got to sign him either to the Supermax or let him go if you want to get some value out of him. I think that for Damian Lillard, you fill your spot. Do you really want to play a Supermax for your second best player? Like, I don't think that's a smart move for them. So to get the most value out of him, like you traded him for Damian Lillard, I think is actually might be able to put up a better package than what Miami is offering.
Oh, Jaylen Brown's better than Tyler Hero.
Yes.
Jaylen Brown's better than Tyler Hero.
100% agree with you. And I think Porzingis is a good pickup for them because I said before, I thought that they needed some size, somebody inside, but also someone who can stretch the floor. And Kristaps Porzingis kind of fits that mode. He averaged 23 points per game last year, 8 rebounds. He got some good minutes for them. And even if it takes a drop down because, Washington Wizards is a much different team than the Boston Celtics. I think the best comparison we can put to that is when he played with another great scorer like Jason Tatum was when he played with Luka Doncic. He averaged 20 points per game and about like 8.5 rebounds. So if he can give you just that, that's an upgrade. If you still have Jaylen Brown giving you 20 per game, you still got Jason Tatum. That's one of the better big threes out there. I wouldn't put them in the top 5 big threes, but I would say top 6, top 7 big threes or trios, as you said, because this is more of a trio that kind of fits in. They fit very well with one another because Kristaps can stretch the floor, but primarily a lot of his scoring is going to come from 17 feet inside, and and then you got Jason Tatum, who's a slasher, Jaylen Brown, who's a slasher and a mid-range shooter. So you got, and Jason Tatum's a great shooter as well. So yeah, I think that they fit in very well, and the team around them have already proven that they can do a lot. But it's just going to be like, how much of a loss is Marcus Smart and his defense and his leadership for the team? How much of a loss is that for the Boston Celtics? We're going to find out. But I thought this was a trade that Boston definitely won. This is the first trade we're talking about that got the best player involved, that I am saying, yes, they won the trade.
I like the deal for Boston. I think Porzingis will allow them to run kind of different actions as well as a pick and roll kind of guy and increase spacing a little bit. And we'll see what they do. It might be the end of Robert Williams at the might be the end of Robert Williams' tenure in Boston. Trey mentioned, didn't Pritchard want to be traded to? He did. That was the rumor report. I don't know if it was because, hey, I don't want to be in Boston, or if it was because the lack of opportunity that he wasn't getting. And now without Marcus Smart, maybe that opportunity's there. And so he doesn't want to be traded now. Maybe the damage is done. And he's still like, yeah, I still want to be traded type of thing. So if they can promise him, hey, look, you're going to get more opportunities now because Marcus Smart's gone, maybe Pritchard kind of rescinds the trade request there. That's very possible. But yeah, I don't think Boston's done. Like they still need a primary ball handler, and we'll see where that goes. I like the deal for Memphis, by the way, because Ja's going to miss 25 games. They traded Tyus Jones, who I really like. And now he's in Washington with Jordan Poole. We'll see how that works out. But I like Tyus Jones. And, now Marcus Smart, though, he's a very Memphis player, grit and grind.
Yes.
Throwback there. But I like that he'll come in there and he'll add a little bit of, you would hope, maturity to that team. But I like that deal for Memphis to stabilize things while Ja Morant is out, and you just hope that he helps them in the locker room as well. It seemed like Boston was setting up, and if they could have pulled this off, I would have really loved what they ended up doing. But basically, Brogdon for Porzingis, the original deal, and then Smart for Tyus Jones, because Tyus Jones wants to go somewhere to play more minutes and everything. He wants a bigger role. Tyus Jones, if you trade Marcus Smart for Tyus Jones, he comes in there and he would have been their starting point guard. And I would have really loved that for Boston. I know they're still trading Marcus Smart. They did not decide to trade Marcus Smart because they could no longer trade Brogdon. They weren't just like, oh, wait, we can't trade Brogdon. Oh, fine, sure. Take Marcus Smart. Now, like, this was a deal that clearly, or some type of deal that they were clearly like working on for a little bit. And then they decided, all right, well, we got to get this done because the Porzingis option deadline. And so we just got to go ahead and make this move. And so they made it. But clearly they had thoughts of trading Marcus Smart before they decided to do this at the 11th hour to get Porzingis. But I think if they could have pulled off that little deal, that would have been a good piece of business. Instead, they still have Brogdon. We'll see what happens with him. And then now they need a actual primary playmaker. And free agency starts Saturday. SB3 starts on Saturday.
Can't wait. I mean, we should probably bring up the three big players. So you're saying, we already kind of discussed James Harden. You're saying James Harden back to the Sixers, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna say James Harden back to the Houston Rockets.
Okay.
Kyrie Irving, where do you think he goes? Does he stay with Dallas, or do they do? Yeah, unfortunately, I think he's gonna. I'll give y'all something. He doesn't want to be in Dallas. He doesn't want to be in Dallas. He wants a sign and trade. He wants a sign and trade.
Well,
and I've heard different options. I've heard of different options for that, of like a Minnesota Timberwolves possibly for Cat, or even for Gobert, which, man, that would be like the Jordan Poole, where you give him $40 million and then you trade him. If you traded all these guys for Gobert and then have to trade him the next year, yeah, that's one of the worst trades ever ever. It is already one of the worst trades ever, but it would be confirmed that it's the worst trade ever. I've also heard the Clippers, which, I mean, they already put Paul George out on the block and we're kind of optioning him. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing you put Paul George with Luka if they do a signing trade with Dallas, or if you do, Kyrie with Kawhi. You got a new building. Kyrie can sell some tickets, and he wants to be in Los Angeles. So
I don't know what Kyrie wants. I mean, you that's family for you. I wouldn't take this guy. I wouldn't take this guy. I know Anthony Davis, like, I know he wants to be in LA. He wants to play with LeBron and everything. I don't know what kind of deal that looks like. Do you sign and trade with D'Angelo Russell? Is that the move you make out of this? When it comes to the Clippers, do you trade Paul George? Is that the move you're trying to make? I think he stays with Dallas. Whether they work out a sign and trade, we shall see. But I'm still picking Dallas. That's where I think he ends up signing with.
I think they are in the front as far as the different options he can go to. And then, of course, your favorite, Russell Westbrook.
Oh,
where do you think he goes? Is he going to take the pay cut and stay with the Clippers, or he's going to go somewhere else and make some money?
I think it'd be hilarious to see him in Boston.
Dude, when you said they need a ball handler, that's the first person I thought of too.
It'd be hilarious. I think he finds a way to stay with the Clippers because I don't know if he wants to move around so much anymore. And he clearly liked it on the Clippers. They embraced him and everything. Russ is very much family oriented and everything. He's had to move his family a lot, and he likes LA. He always wanted to play in LA. That's why I was so happy to come to the Lakers. That's why I think he signed with the Clippers when he was a free agent. I think Russ maybe understands what his role kind of is, or maybe he doesn't after the playoffs when he was still out there playing his ass off while everybody else got hurt. Maybe he still feels like I could be Russell Westbrook. And if that's the case, then that might be an issue. But yeah, I'm going with the Clippers. I think he ends up staying with the Clippers.
I think he goes to the Chicago Bulls.
Maybe. I mean, very boring.
They need a ball handler because Lonzo Ball's not going. He's not going to be there next season. Which, man, Lonzo.
I don't know if Lonzo's
that was the smartest trade that the Lakers did after LeBron got there, was getting rid of Lonzo Ball.
I don't know if Lonzo is playing basketball ever again. Unfortunately, that's very sad because he was playing well for the Bulls. Like he was playing. Lonzo was never going to live up to that hype that was created for him. He carved out a nice role for himself on the Bulls. And I understand, like, as a draft pick that high, you're like, oh, well, you want someone better than like a nice little role player, but whatever. And the league cycles through so many players every season. If you can find yourself a nice role, no matter where you were picked, then you're doing okay for yourself. And he found himself a nice role in the Bulls, and they were playing well. And then once he got hurt, it was very downhill for that team. And now, again, I don't know if he's going to play basketball ever again, which is very sad.
It is kind of sad, man. I remember that hype machine that LeVar Ball created for him.
Yeah.
And then he learned his lesson because he didn't do that for LaMelo, and LaMelo was definitely the better player of the brothers. So it was kind of weird that he didn't give the hype machine for LaMelo. I'm hoping that LaMelo gets healthy, and this is not the theme of those brothers is injury prone. So hopefully he can get back on it, but it's sad to see where Alonzo is at, and it's sad to see where the Bulls are at because of that. Because the Bulls have the makings to be at least a play-in or a lower seed playoff team if Lonzo was healthy.
Yeah, now they are not. They are not a playoff team, and they made the play-in. They were minutes away from beating the Heat, and then I guess going to the finals. If you
they would have won. If they would have replaced the Heat, they would have done the same thing. I agree.
Yeah, clearly would have done the same thing. All right, let me send this link to our pal Share Delaware, and we can talk some trash reality television. What are you watching? Still Love After Lockdown, SP3?
Love After Lockdown and the latest seasons of 90 Day Fiance, which, oh my God, 90 Day the other way this season, chef's kiss. It's some of the best messy trash reality out there. Dude, we got in one season, we got a catfish. We got freaking Gino and his girl. Gino is the guy. I don't know if y'all seen the highlights for him, but Gino does never not wear his hat. He's 53 years old and he's going out with a 35-year-old Colombian woman who wants to have sex all the time, and Gino can't always get it up. Oh man, it's just gold. Just so much gold on this season. But the catfish one, man, that thing made me sad because he's kind of like an overweight guy and he seems like very nice. He says he's never had sex before, and he was talking to this girl and he was like talking about, oh yeah, we only talk on Snapchat. We never seen each other. And me and my missus looked at each other like, oh no, we've heard this too many times because we've seen every episode of Catfish together. So we're like, oh no. Oh no, please let her be real. He's so nice. His name's Tyree. He's like, he's so nice. Please let it be real. And then the producers, not even him, he didn't even find it out himself, Jeremy. The producers had to tell him. He had to tell him. It's like, you're going out with this guy. His name is Christian, and he's the one behind the account. And then it was like, yeah, we got a voice message from him. Do you want to hear from him? And then he was like no. And then he finally went and he saw his sister and told his sister all about it. And then the sister was like, yeah, you should probably listen to it to get closure. And they played the thing. And of course, Jeremy, of course, it's some Nigerian. It's some Nigerian playing games, saying that he's poor and he wanted to make some money. And Tyree at first was like, oh, I didn't give her that much money. And then he's like, yeah, she asked me for money when we first started talking and I didn't feel comfortable. And even like when he's telling the whole story about the relationship, he's telling us like, yeah, he had to quit his job because he had to take care of his mother, and he has his mother living with us because his mother's like older and she's sick. So he takes care of her full time. He had to quit his job. And then he said when he was originally talking to the girl, she asked him for money and he told her no. So then she stopped talking to him for a while. So then when they started talking again and she acted for money again, he realized, he was like, yeah, I should probably send her something. And he said, oh, I was sending her like $50 to $100 a month. Oh, I was like, this poor guy, and he's been talking to her for like 4 years, Jeremy, for 4 years. Oh man! So as soon as he heard the voice, like, my name is Christian, and he ran out of the restaurant. His sister had to go get him, like, no, yeah, it's okay, and stuff. And then the next episode, he's like, yeah, I'm hoping that it's not real. I'm hoping that somebody just stole her phone and is playing games. Like, he really still wants to believe. He wants to believe that he's talking. He was like, it was like a mixture. It was like all different Catfish episodes I'd seen together in one thing. It was like the Katy Perry person mixed with like all the sad ones who are nice people just looking for love. Oh man, it's some great realities of it. It's probably, this Catfish story is probably more interesting than like 90% of the last 3-4 seasons of Catfish.
Oh man, that happens a lot on that show when it comes to catfishing on 90 Day Fiance. There was I'm terrible with the names, but there was someone else who was talking to, it was a female and talking to this guy, and she like flew over there to like meet him and everything, and he just like never showed up. Like, we never, and the camera never went to see him and stuff. Sometimes they'll even have like camera people over there of like, oh yeah, it's really this person. Camera never saw him or anything. Like, and the daughter was like, Mom, this this is not this person. Like, what are we doing? The voice was completely different. Like, he'd only say like 2 words. People get catfished.
Oh, I know what it was, the older black lady, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, I know what you're talking. I know exactly who you're talking.
I
Oh,
can't
and
remember names.
it's actually before the 90 days. I
Okay.
confused it with 90 Day the other way. I confuse all of these. I'll be honest, because there's too many versions of it. But yeah, it's 90 Day the other way, because Gino and Jasmine are really the stars of it because they've been on so many seasons. And man, Gino they got into an argument, Jeremy, that me and my missus quote on a daily basis just to pop each other, just to make each other laugh, because he got into an argument with her, right? He comes over to Colombia. He's staying with her. Like, he gets tired at first. Like, she wants to have sex. He's like, "Oh yeah, I haven't seen you in months." And she literally, like, after they finally have sex on this trip, she's literally told the camera, "This is the 8th time in the 2 years and 8 months that we've had sex." I was like, "Yo, she literally been counted. She literally is like it's essentially like 1, 2, slash what?" Like, she literally, like, she counted how many times they've had sex. But like, he fell asleep when she wanted to have sex with her when she first came, and then the next day or later that day, she wants to cook with him. So she's like, "Oh yeah, can you just do this? Can you peel the potato or peel a beet?" And he's like, looking for a peeler. He's like, "Do you have a peeler?" And he literally talks like that. He's like, "Do you have a peeler?" And she's like, "No, I just have this knife." She's like, "It's a renovated apartment that she got, so she doesn't have, all this stuff." And he was like, "Do you have a cutting board?" And she gives him a plate. So he's like, he has a big ass knife, and he's like peeling a potato with a knife, and he's just not happy. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not used to doing this. I usually, I have the proper equipment to cook. I don't think we have the proper equipment to cook." And she's like, "Come, baby, can you just do it for me? Can you just do it?" So she gives him a beat. She was like, after he's done with the potato, she gives him a beat to it, and he's like, "No, I don't want to." He was like, "You don't have the proper equipment to cook. I don't think we should cook. You don't have the proper equipment." So I literally go to my missus all the time. I was like, "You don't have the proper equipment to cook." And it pops her. It pops her and makes her laugh because, how many times he said it, it was hilarious. He's like, "You don't have the proper equipment." He's like standing there like a child, like, "You don't have the proper equipment to cook." And she's like, "Baby, I just want to cook. I just want to cook with you." And he's like, "No." He was like, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed." She's like, "Why would you do this to me?" She starts crying. I'm like, "Yo, y'all got into an argument because she didn't have a peeler. Like, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work." Pop. Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
People on these shows are absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. These are the worst people in like humanity. Honestly, 90 Day Fiance, literally the worst people like in humanity. Just, I don't know how these people exist. When I watch that show, I was like, "There's no way these people are real." No way.
I don't. And the fact that they're on here for years,
Yeah.
like, we literally can do like a top of our best 90 Day people because they've been on so many years. Like, of course, Big Ed is at the top of the list. Big Ed. Shout out to Big Ed. He's the GOAT of 90 Day Fiance. Angela, though. People need to, if you don't know about Angela, you are missing out on one of the greatest reality television stars of our generation. Angela, oh man, Angela is just pure comedy gold every time she's on the screen, yelling, Michael, I'm gonna tell you." "Michael, you up here cheating on me? You up here talking to this girl?" Yo, when she does the tell-all, you saw the last tell-all. You just need to watch the last tell-all. You don't even need to watch the last season with Angela. Just watch the last tell-all. When she comes on, she's like talking crap to Usman. Usman's another one, Soldier Boy, another one on the top. She's like, you're trying to, bro, manipulate my Michael. He been talking to you. You've been manipulating him, getting girls for him. She was like, "Look at me, I'm all real. Look at my titties." She goes right to the camera. Goes right to the camera. Look at my dead ass. Michael.
Angela and Big Ed should date. Could you imagine that combo?
Anytime they interact with each other, I pop. I pop every time. The best interactions is Angela with Big Ed with Colty and Debbie. Big Ed with
Yeah.
Colty and Debbie when they went at it on the tell-all. Oh man, that's one of my favorite reality television moments ever. Oh, so great. So great.
There's our pal, Cher Delaware. Hello, Cher Delaware.
Hello.
We
Hi,
are.
Cher. You're wearing a hot dog shirt?
It's a FT hot dog.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
We were talking trashy reality television. SB3 is telling us about 90 Day Fiance. We were watching Temptation Island, the new season, and the Big D, where divorcees fuck in front of each other, which is a tremendous piece of it's both of these shows are awful. They haven't quite picked up yet. Like we're 2 episodes into both. I'm terrible with names and everything. If the wife is watching, I'm sure she'll message me some names. I'm terrible with the names though. But on the Big D, if you have like sort of trauma stuff, like triggers, that show's going to get you because there's a lot of like, you can see the abuse kind of playing out on screen of like just the men are on both of these shows are awful, but just like, you didn't do this. Like, why'd you put me in this position? And it's like, what are you talking about, dude? These are just terrible, terrible men.
I'm gonna pass.
Fair, honestly fair. They're gonna get much trashier though with the hooking up and just but yeah, some of the trauma triggers are clearly very there. But they do kick people off of the Big D, which is nice. Of like, oh, this guy sucks, and all right, good, get him out of here. We never have to see him again. So that is one good thing about that show.
There's not enough money that they could pay me to be stuck in a home with my ex-husband.
Like, fair. Some of these couples, like the divorces are a little fresh, and then there's at least one couple where the divorce was a little bit longer on it, and so it's not quite as fresh. But yeah, some of them are still like trying to get back together. Others are clearly moved on. Others are like trying to move on, but they can't because their now ex is there with them, type of thing.
They're fucking other people. Yeah.
It's very messy show. And Temptation Island is its usual messiness. That hasn't gotten that messy yet. But this thing with the temptation light that goes off when your other is hooking up in the other villa. And so then all you got to do is sit around, you watch this light go off, and you're wondering, oh, wait, is my boyfriend, girlfriend hooking up over there? Like, is that's what's happening? That's when that's going to get messy.
I can't watch that show because it makes me so mad. Because what kind of dumbass is going on a show called Temptation? And then you're getting mad because you went on a show called Temptation Island where people don't wear clothes, and the whole premise of the show is for them to cheat on you, and you're like, how dare you cheat on me? Like,
the wife and I had a discussion of, because we watched The Ultimatum as well, and I think she asked, like, you know, what's like the worst part, like which one would you like rather not do, The Ultimatum or Temptation Island? Like The Ultimatum, the premise isn't necessarily, hey, let's go cheat on each other. It's just like, oh, I want to get married. You don't want to get married. Let's go on this show and be around other couples in this same position. Maybe by being with this person in a trial marriage for 3 weeks, we discover something else about ourselves. But in that, you might just become friends and like actually grow and learn or whatever. Temptation Island, it's literally in the title of let's go here, be separated for 3 weeks. And then we have 10 singles who are trying to screw up our relationship. Like the premise of The Ultimatum is not, hey, we're trying to screw up your relationship. We're just trying, we love this person, but we need to.
Yeah. The ultimatum, you're on the edge of probably breaking up anyway. Like,
yes. I mean, if you're on any of these shows, you're on the edge of break. Let's be honest.
Very true. Very true.
Let's be honest.
That's true.
If you are on a reality show when you are in a relationship and the point or part of the premise of the reality show is let's separate you from the person you came here with and pair you with someone else, you're on the edge of breaking up. Like, that's just what it is.
I'm just imagining, I mean, I've been single for a very long time, but I'm just imagining approaching my partner and being like, hey, so I've got this really good idea. I think we should go on this show where we're separated and people are trying to fuck us, but we can't fuck them. Like,
how does that conversation? Let me see. Hold on.
I can't. I cannot.
All of
bring
all
the
of
wife
these
in
shows,
here.
all of
I'm
these
gonna bring
shows
the
are
wife
very
in here and
different.
just be like, hey, what if we went on this show?
I think that my favorite people on the show are the people that are singles, that they're like, hey, we're gonna pay you to come on here and fuck a bunch of people.
Oh, like they know their Temptation Island, like they just know their job. It's like, yeah,
That's what I'm
Yeah.
I'm
saying.
here. I'm
Like,
here
that
to
is-
screw over your relationship.
That is quite a career. I wonder what they list that on LinkedIn.
What's their occupation? I ruined
Relationship
relationships.
ruiner.
Relationship ruiner, professional fucker.
Yeah, professional relationship ruiner. Hey, good money if you can get it, I guess. You know,
Yeah, I guess so. Pretty good
that'll
stuff.
be my next career step.
professional relationship ruiner. You ruin your own relationships. You date like 500 men. You break up with them.
Exactly. You're a professional relationship ruiner.
Yeah, you're
I'm
already
a professional
there.
relationship haver.
You're a serial relationship haver.
I am a serial dater, is what I am. For someone that does not date.
Hilarious.
Oh my
Chanel,
god.
are you watching any trashy reality television that you want to update us on?
I have not watched any TV at all.
Fair. Honestly, fair. Just sleep. That's what we should
You
all
need
do.
you
We
need
should
to
all
watch
sleep.
Love After Lockup and 90 Day Fiance. I was just telling Jeremy before the 90 days might be the best season ever. Best season ever. They had a catfish share. They had a catfish that got discovered. And it's a Nigerian that was playing games with this poor defenseless Tyree who is kind of overweight and he's never had sex in his life. He literally
no.
admitted that.
Oh,
And
no.
he was dating this woman, Carmela. And he quit his job to take care of his mom that was sick, and he was still sending money to her to find out. And then he tells the whole story. He's like, "Oh, I only talked to her on Snapchat. No, we've never done a phone call. We've never done a video call." And the producers had to tell him, like, "Yeah, unfortunately, we have to tell you you've been catfished."
See, there comes a point where I'm just not sympathetic anymore. It's like the people on Twitter who are like, I sent Alexa Bliss $4,000 and now she won't talk to me. Do you think Alexa Bliss needs your $4,000? Like,
Oh, but it doesn't hurt.
use your brain.
He was like, I thought that was the fee to talk to her.
Oh my god. And then they like call him out, like, you scammed me. No, you're stupid. Like, God.
I felt bad for him because he was the nicest guy ever. Like, I felt so bad, even though everything he was saying, it was like, yeah, he's probably getting catfish. I was like, me and the missus is just like, we really hope this girl is real. We really hope she's real. And then like 2 episodes in, they told her it wasn't real. So we have a catfish on this season. You got Gino and his girl, Gino and Jasmine, where Gino is 53 and Jasmine is 35, and Jasmine wants to have sex all the time, and Gino doesn't because he has anxiety, and he got mad at her for not having the proper equipment. You don't have the proper equipment to cook. You don't have a peeler.
Oh,
You don't have a
I
cutting
thought you were-
board.
I thought you were talking about.
I know.
sex,
I know.
but not proper equipment.
I know. I said it. I said it in that way.
You set it
for a
up very
reason.
well. Yeah.
I was like, excuse me.
You got that. You have a deaf person on the show. The first deaf person in 90 Day history. Oh my god! Like this is like they got all they have a transgender woman in Australia going out with this guy in America. Like oh my god! It's just like I was like yo they put the most diverse season of 90 Days ever before the 90 Days. This season, I'm telling y'all, one of the best seasons of 90 Days ever.
I
Love-
will take your word for it.
Love After Lockup, though. Y'all just need to watch it. Y'all just need to watch Love After Lockup because it could be having fights. He be having simps. Let me tell you about this simp named Deontay. Deontay was going out with this girl. I forget the girl's name, but yeah, he's going out with this girl. This dude gave her $5,000 the day she got out of jail. And then the girl didn't even really want to kiss him or anything like that, but he gave her the $5,000. He's been paying her while she was in jail for like he said he spent like $30,000 on her when she was in jail. In jail, he was spending $35,000 on her. She wouldn't sleep with him or anything when she got out of jail. Then one night he took her to meet his mother, right? Takes her to meet her mother, and then she goes to her house. He drops her off at her house afterwards, and she stays on the porch. So, they do the confessional where he's like, yeah, she never stays on the porch. So he did a stakeout. Dude did a stakeout. He pulled around the block, and he sat there. And then homegirl's ex-boyfriend came and picked her up, and he gets out the car. He's like, "How could you do that to me? I spent all this money on you. You met my mom, bro. You met my mom." He starts going to his car. He's like, "I got you shoes." He throws the shoes. He's like, "I bought you this teddy bear." He throws the teddy bear at. This shit was gold. Oh my god. I was like, this is peak. This is everything I wanted in a reality show. Like, oh my god. And then she was like, yeah, I was just gonna go out with my ex-boyfriend, but because Deontay did all of that, I slept with him. Oh man. And then Deontay was still paying her, still trying to go out with her afterwards. Then she meets up with her ex-girlfriend and gets with her ex-girlfriend.
There's no way this can be real. There's no. This is like a fucking Mad Lib.
All
like,
planned. This is all
there's no
scripted and planned.
No, it's not. It's real life. That was Love After Lockup with them.
They got SB3 hooked.
No, they got me. They got
This
Life
is
After
faker than a
Lockup.
wrestling storyline.
They got Life After Lockup, where the girl is with her new girlfriend, right? The girlfriend asks her to marry him. Deontay, she's still hitting up Deontay to get money because she's just like, oh, what if we had like a three-way relationship where Deontay, he give me money. Will you be all right with that? Talking to the girlfriend, and the girlfriend's just like, all right, whatever. She's like, I'm not working, so if that's what you gotta do to get your money,
a damn job.
they get into a whole argument when they try to talk about the polyamorous relationship. So that didn't work out. Then the girlfriend asks the girl to get married, and Deontay finds out about it from social media, and he's like telling his mom and his best friend, like, what if I go to the wedding? I don't know if I should go to the wedding. They was like, go to the wedding? What are you, stupid? What are you, stupid? Like, what are you doing?
He's very clearly stupid.
So dude goes to the wedding, but he hides.
him.
He hides behind a tree.
All right, this is not real. I'm with Cher. This is not real.
He hides behind a tree. He's watching it from afar. So they get married. The girlfriend.
This isn't real.
The girlfriend. I wish this wasn't a TV show, but it is. It's gold.
This is what they were trying to do with Dominic Mysterio. This was the storyline they were trying to write.
Fake
she
TV
gets
show.
married.
This is not
She gets
real.
married with the girlfriend, right? So got me in tears reenacting this. So they come after they got married, and he's hiding behind a tree. They literally walk by him like they didn't see him. This dude's wearing like a burgundy suit.
Is he dressed
Burgundy
as a
suit.
tree? I mean, how did
No,
not see it?
no, because he's dark as hell, and it was dark outside. He's dark as hell, but he's wearing like a burgundy suit with a black shirt. And they walk by him. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" The girl's like, "No, why are you here? Why are you here right now?" So the girlfriend is just
for the wedding too.
maybe the girlfriend tells him like, "Would you like if I showed up at your wedding?" He was like, "I wouldn't want you to come anywhere near me, so why are you here?" And she does like this to him. Yo, they start fighting. He's grabbing the girlfriend. He doesn't want to hit because he knows it's a girl. He's like grabbing the girlfriend by the head and stuff. They get into a whole tussling. The security and the producers have to separate them. Yo, this Deontay, look it up. Deontay, from Love After Lockup.
I gotta tell you, not one bit of that made me want to watch that show.
Gotta see it. It's great. It's great stuff. Great stuff.
No. My gosh.
I'm gonna try to watch this show. I gotta live what SB3 is experiencing here because it sounds awful, but also it sounds amazingly awful.
It's amazing, awful, trash reality. Some of the greatest simps that makes David from 90 Day Fiance. If y'all know David, y'all know he's the ultimate simp in reality television history. They got people that compete with him. They got people that can spend $90,000. This dude named Scott spent $90,000 on his girlfriend while she was in prison. And he tells the girl's daughter, and the girl's daughter was like, "You know, she spent all of that on drugs, right? So you just enabled my mom to be a drug addict." She was like telling the camera, like, "I don't want my mom anywhere near this guy."
Sounds awful. All of this just sounds awful. But thank you for updating on all of that, SP3.
That's what I'm here for.
Yes. All right, everybody. Let's get out of here. Cher is just done. Just done. Trey says he can vouch for this mess. Oh, there you go.
Yes. Even over Colty. Even over Colty.
Cher Delaware, do you have anything to plug?
In about an hour, new stickers will be up on tachytherapy.com, so check that out. Probably don't follow me on Twitter because I've been very mean to people on there lately. I think that's it.
All right.
Oh, watch Jeremy twerk at the end of the show last week.
I was going to say, I'm not doing it again today. I already broke a monitor last week. Yeah, sure. Watch me twerk. Sure. SV3, do you have anything to plug?
Follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3 and watch Love After Lockup and Life After Lockup and Love Dread Lockup. It's some of the best reality television.
We gotta get royalty.
Oh my god, I'm plugging. Yes, I want to be sponsored by Love After Lockup. It's entertained me and my missus for weeks now. For weeks, we've loved it. But yeah, check out True Hill Heat YouTube channel. We're going live in 2 hours at 1:05 p.m. Eastern time with our Money in the Bank preview with myself, Romeo, and special guest Ella J. So join us for that.
Is he drunk Romeo or hungover Romeo?
No, that's JJ.
No, that's JJ.
But I'm asking about Romeo.
Oh. No, Romeo is all right. He's biased, but he's responsible.
So he's biased.
Responsible Romeo.
Yeah, he's biased Romeo.
Biased Romeo. Okay.
Responsible Romeo is what he is. Tell Ella J to have better food takes. That's my only request because her food takes are awful. Just show up eating a bunch of like chocolate mint stuff. SP3. I don't know if you have anything in the house, but just like show up and just like start eating that and see if it disgusts her in any way. She doesn't like mint. She doesn't like chocolate mint.
I don't either.
Oh my gosh, y'all are.
Here's our new sponsor, peanut butter M&Ms.
Those aren't bad. I don't like those.
These are called the party size. I've
Yeah.
ate all of them myself.
I'll do that with
Yeah,
Skittles.
that's
I'll just pop Skittles like all day. Just
Green
hadn't had 'em in a
apple
while.
Skittles for Athena, please.
Green apple. That sounds good.
Yeah, that she says she needs green apple Skittles when she wins.
That sounds good. I got some Reese's. I was gonna say cooking in the freezer, but I got some Reese's in the freezer right now. That's the best freezer Reese's. All right, everybody. Fightful Overbooked. Watch all of our stuff, please, including Tag Talk, where we now have official ownership of this background. But unfortunately, Tag Talk's on hiatus for the next month, so we'll be using this background a lot to keep the name of Tag Talk alive. All the other shows we have going on as well, please. All right, so Ace Shock cotton candy Oreos. I can't find those. I would like to find those. I want to try them. They sound very good. But last time I went to the grocery store, which was a couple days ago, I could not find them. Very sad. But I'm eating all my mint Oreos. I think I'm going to be in an Oreo eating contest next week on air. So yeah, against a professional wrestler. I'm sure that'll go great for me. More details if you watch In the Weeds. All right, everybody. We'll be back next week talking NBA. Free agency starts this weekend. You can follow us on Twitter and we'll have some free agency NBA talks, myself and SP3. Bye, everyone. Enjoy your day. Good